stand. That'll be okay. I'm Mark Lewis. I'm the Museum's Town Talks coordinator. We're delighted to have this program today. Welcome. The program, as you know, is Tales and Trails, behind-the-scenes look at Ojai's backcountry. It was conceived and organized by our museum manager, Don Teedy. Where's Don? There's Don. And it will be moderated by your host, Carrie Van Houten. First, a little housekeeping. By the way, this event is in conjunction with our alcove exhibit on the topography and cartography of Ojai, the Ojai Valley. That show and this show, Fine Portraits, Fine People, in this rotating gallery, will both end on March 29th. So, be sure to check the alcove on your way out if you haven't, and check the portrait show out as well. And the next show opens April 18th with a reception right here. That's a Saturday, and that is the annual Ojai Studio Artists Show. March is Membership Madness Month here. So if you aren't a member or you are and want to renew, now is the time to do it. If you renew this month, you will automatically be entered for a drawing for a replica of the Liddy Park Fountain Lion's Head, which Roger Embry and Dennis Shives have created, and you walk past it on your way in, you walk past it on your way out. This could be yours. Picture your garden with it. Also, if you renew or join in person at the museum this month, you will get a free copy of this $20 value book by Elise DuPoit, A Photo Guide to Fountains and Sculptures of Ojai, Art, History, and Architecture. So, what a deal. That's if you renew or join up in person. So without further ado, let me present to you our moderator today, who is, of course, the Hike and Trails columnist of the Ojai Valley News and the KBTA Morning Show co-host, Mr. Perry Van Houten.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming out. It's good to see that there's a lot of folks interested in getting outdoors. Saw my first rattlesnake yesterday of the 2015. Not the first time.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, it's good to have you all here, and I want to thank the museum for letting me moderate the event tonight. Usually on the radio, I don't get to see my audience, but selling cars or opening a pizza joint somewhere, so it's good to see you all here. But tonight I see a lot of familiar faces from various Land Conservancy and Forest Service projects, so that's good. Before I introduce my panel that Dawn has put together here at the museum this afternoon, little introduction to my relationship with Ojai, because before I finally got around to moving here, I was living in Ventura for about 20 years and coming up here every chance I could get on the weekend, mountain biking mainly, and my introduction to the Ojai backcountry was through a little mountain bike guide called Ventura County and the Sespe Volume 4, which was written by the legendary Mickey McTighe, who is famous in this area for, everything he knows about the trails. I mean, he has John and all these guys know Mickey, and you see him out on Forest Service soldering projects. I think that's where he is this weekend with Heidi from the Ojai Ranger District. So anyway, I was doing a lot of mountain biking and coming up here every weekend and hurt my neck and couldn't bike anymore, so I got reintroduced to hiking, and in 2011 began writing the hiking column for the Ojai Valley News and some outdoor stuff for their visitor's guide, and I met so many really nice, incredible, knowledgeable people, 4 of whom are sitting here with us here this afternoon, and I've learned so much. These guys are such an inspiration and have taught me so much, so it's amazing to get them all here in this room at once to talk about tales and trails of the Ojai backcountry. On my far left is Rick Basasha, who is Stewardship Director for the Ojai Valley Land Conservancy. Rick is also on the Ojai Historic Preservation Commission, but all of the various preserves, and the list seems to keep growing all the time. Rick almost single-handedly managed all those preserves and continues to do that for OVLC. Rick has helped me on a lot of different articles and sometimes has corrected me on stuff that I got wrong, too. So I hope you'll continue to do that. John Boggs is a Forest Service ranger on my immediate left here. And I think I'm going to leave the main introduction of John to Mike in just a moment, because you were telling me a story on the phone a little while ago about John Boggs. But John served with the Forest Service as a fire patrolman, worked in the Rose Valley area and Matilaha Canyon, and he is one of those rare, probably the last of a breed in terms of Forest Service rangers. But John, you had retired. When did you retire? 98? 98, but he was with the Forest Service for some 40 years and knows everything about the trails around here. On my right is Mike Vaughn. Mike is the foreman for the crew here based in Ojai, who help out young kids, you know, give them jobs out in the forest, cutting brush and knocking down trees and doing trail maintenance and stuff like that. And Mike was telling me a story about John Boggs that we'll get to right after I introduce Craig Carey, who is the hiking guide author of Hiking and Backpacking Santa Barbara and Ventura, which is in its, how much, second or third printing right now? Second printing right now, available here at the Ojai Valley Museum, I believe. But it is the ultimate hiking guide for this area. This is, when I was starting to hike in this area, this is the guide I wish had been available. So Craig has been, I think you were one of the first mountain men up here in the Ojai Valley I met over beers at the pub down in Ventura somewhere.
Pretty much hanging on.
And Craig has brought his photos, and he's going to show some maps and some photos and stuff to help illustrate what we're talking about today. Mike, would you jump in here real quick and just introduce Ranger Boggs, because I think that's a real fine place to start. Start at the beginning.
Well, I don't know about the beginning, but it was the beginning of his retirement party. And so I'm going to go back a little bit and kind of define what a ranger is. Of course, there was no such thing as a forest, not defined as a forest, and being in a disturbed and dependent environment with flood and fire and so forth, got to the point where President McKinley says, we got to kind of do something. So he started a forest in a preserve, Santa Barbara Forest Preserve, not National Forest, in 1898 roughly. And so, sometime after that, when Theodore Roosevelt was having some pretty unsuccessful hunting trips, he was a little disturbed. So he wanted national hunting preserves. And his partner says, that's not going to work, it has to be multi-use. So 1905, then Roosevelt made the National Forest.